So today we're in section 2.7. The first thing I wanted to do was talk about the difference between an equation and an inequality. An equation will always have an equal sign in it. That's what you look for. An inequality can have any of these symbols in it. You will not see this symbol matched up with any of those symbols. Sometimes you'll see more than one of these symbols, but usually it's just one symbol. Now when you have an equation, it will look something like this. And you know right away that it must be 2 that is your x, because 2 plus 5 is 7. That's simple. An inequality will look something like this. This one says x plus 5 is less than 7. When you have an equation, there's usually only one possible solution for x. In this case, it was the 2, because 2 plus 5 is 7. Over here, because it's an inequality, there are many possible solutions for x. Sometimes infinitely many possible solutions for x. So x in this case could be 0, because 0 plus 5, that's less than 7. So that means it's a possibility. Or x could be 1, because 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 is less than 7. So that's a possibility. 1/2 is a possibility, because 5½ is less than 7. -1 is a possibility, because -1 plus 4 gives you 4. -1 plus 5 gives you 4, and 4 is less than 7. So all of these numbers still keep that at a true statement. And since that's the case, all of these are solutions for that statement, which means we can have a whole bunch of solutions. See, I put a little ... because they keep on going. So that's the difference between an equation and an inequality. So when you start seeing these words, they start using these words a lot, you'll get some idea of whether we're just looking for one answer or whether we're looking for a whole bunch of possible answers. Okay? Let's talk about some definitions. A solution is a value that makes a statement true. A solution set is all the values in your replacement set that make the statement true. And then a replacement set is the values you plug in for the variable which is your letter, to see if the statement is true. Will be true. And then one more is this symbol It's called the empty set. And it means that none of the answers in your replacement set are solutions. Go ahead and pause it so that you can get those down. When you're done, unclick and we'll move on. I'm looking at the classwork exercises on page 80 in your book. Problem number 5. It says 3m is less than 0, and they give us the set -1, 0, and 1. And they want us to find the solution set. So we have to take each of those numbers and plug them into here. So for my first one, it's going to be 3 times -1 is less than 0. For my next one, it's going to be 3 times 0 is less than 0. For my next one, it's going to be 3 times 1 is less than 0. And we don't know if any of these are true or not. We're going to try them all, see what happens. All I did was replace each of these numbers in place of my letter. So for this one, 3 times -1 is -3 is less than 0. 3 times 0 is, 0. I can do this. Is less than 0. And then 3 times 1 is 3 is less than 0. Now the question is, are any of these statements true? Is -3 less than 0? Yes. So that one's good. Is 0 less than 0? Well, 0 equals 0, but it's not less than 0. So that one doesn't work. So is 3 less than 0? No, 3 isn't less than 0 either. So that one doesn't work. So the only one that worked for us was this first one. This is not your answer. They wanted to know which of those worked. And the only one that worked was that -1. So our answer is -1. And it needs to be put in this special bracket. It needs to be put in those braces. If you can't draw those braces, you got to do some sort of little squiggly so I can tell that you mean those braces. Problem number 8. It says n plus 1 is greater than 0. And I gave us the exact same replacement set. So they want us to try it with -1, 0, and 1. Go ahead and pause it and try it on your own and then come back and see if you got it right. So I've got -1 plus 1 is greater than 0. 0 plus 1 is greater than 0. And then 1 plus 1 is greater than 0. Over here, I get 0 is greater than 0. That one's not true. We say they're equal, but they're not greater than. Here I get 1 is greater than 0. That one's good. And here I get 2 is greater than 0. That one's true. So my answer needs to be 0 and 1. Both of them go in there because both of them worked. Since both of them worked for us, that's what goes in your answer. If none of them work for you, that's when you use the little empty set symbol. Try number 6. That says g minus 2 is not equal to negative 1. My replacement state is still negative 1, 0, and 1. Try it. This gives me negative 3 is not equal to negative 1. Well, that's true. This one gives me negative 2 is not equal to negative 1. That's true too. They're not equal. This one gives me negative 1 is not equal to negative 1. Well, negative 1 is equal to negative 1. So it can't be not equal and equal at the same time. So that's going to be wrong. Which makes my solution set negative 1 and 0. This one was kind of short. They have a little bit more stuff that they try to get you to do in this section. But basically, it's just adding in a few more problems and adding in a few more possibilities with fractions and things to make the calculations a little bit more difficult. But that's all changes in this section. So, classwork for this section is the practice exercises numbers 2 through 16 even. And then the homework for this section, once you make sure you can do that classwork and you've done it correctly, is 1 through 25 odd. Once again, if you have a question, you can text me.